love Don Vino. I actually performed with him a couple of years ago at the Artscape alongside. So I danced and he played. I should actually show him the video. Don't think you remember. I was much shorter.
No, she was dancing, man.
I was dancing. Kat, get the memo.
She was dancing. Well, we'll see Don Vino play the sexy sax a little bit later this morning. We love it when they come around. Burgos, the studio has a vibe. But right now, of course, we're going to turn to a vitally important conversation. Solo is standing by and we are talking about suicide prevention.
A very good morning to you, Expresso family. We are coming to you live from Johannesburg this morning and tackling a very sensitive but a topic that needs to be discussed, which is teen suicide. I'm joined by SADC board member Dr. Sindi van Zyl, who is going to be leading the conversation and just sort of discussing with us just how prevalent this problem is. A very warm Expresso welcome to you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming through. Let's just talk about the stats in South Africa. Just how prevalent is teen suicide?
Okay, so suicide in South Africa, we have about 27 completed suicides per day. And we know that, a kid as young as 7 has committed suicide. And this is why we're having this discussion, because, teens are prone to suicide. They're going through a lot in their lives and they have a lot of stresses. And as adults, it's easy to think that, oh no, that's nothing to worry about. Say you've been dumped by a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or something goes wrong with your matric results. We're older and we have the benefit of experience to know that those things are things you can get over. But for a teen, there's so much happening in their lives, they don't always know how to handle such stresses. And this is why we're having this conversation.
And building on that, Doctor, what are the tell signs that someone is more likely to commit suicide? Or what are some of the warning signs that parents can look out?
Well, a lot of it starts off with depression. So if you have a teen who's now withdrawn and they're not doing the things that they used to enjoy before, you must know that there's something wrong. And the important thing is to ask, right? So there's a mnemonic act. You need to ask directly, are you okay? Is there something wrong? Is there any way that we can help you? And the second thing is to care. So you have to listen without judgment. And I think that's difficult for most parents because we're busy with our own lives. I'm a parent myself. And if your child comes with something that you deem as a petty issue, you're not likely to take as much interest as you can. So this is an appeal to friends and to secondary caregivers that if you notice that there's something wrong, just show that you care, listen without judgment. And the last letter is T. Find treatments, because I don't expect a parent or a friend to know what to do. They're qualified people who know what to do under such circumstances. And, take that friend to a doctor or take the teen to a community center or to a nurse, but they will know what to do. So the onus is not on you to make a difference, just get the person into help.
And where can people go if they are seeking help? For example, if I have a distressed teenager, what are some of the centers they can visit, or what information is out there for them to sort of go about getting help?
Well, SADC is on social media, so you just look them up on social media. You can also call, they have a toll-free number. I think it's 086 456 789. You can call that number as well. And also go to a GP. A general practitioner like myself is a good place to start because we know where to refer patients who might be feeling suicidal. But it's important not to ignore the signs. And I think when someone does speak about suicide, that's a red flag, because most people do speak about it before they die by suicide. So if someone mentions it or they mention thoughts of dying or they're obsessed with the idea of dying, that's a red flag and you need to act on it.
And what are some of the causes, Doctor, of suicide and for people, or rather teenagers, wanting to take their lives? I mean, we live in such a crazy, chaotic world. Like you mentioned earlier on, I mean, there's so much pressure on teens. What can parents do to alleviate some of that pressure or to help their teens?
Well, I think the stresses of life in general, for some kids can handle the stresses. It could be bullying, it could be a broken relationship or a relationship that hasn't worked out. It could be school marks as well. So parents need to look at their kids' lives and just, if you're putting your child under a lot of pressure, academic stress, or you want your child to be some sports person and they don't want to do that, just take a step back and ask yourself, if I was in my child's shoes, what would I want? And it's not always that our kids choose things that we want, right? Life is not like that. So, so be open-minded about your child's choices in life. It might not, if your child gets a tattoo and you're angry about it, is that the worst thing that your child could ever do? No, it isn't. So you can work through that. So we need to look at our lives and just and put less stress on our kids, because our kids are living in a very, very high-stressed environment.
It is such an important conversation to have. We're not done here with Dr. Sindi. She is going to be back later on talking to us a little bit more about just how prevalent teen suicide is amongst our teenagers. But for now, it's back to you guys in the studio.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, everybody, to your Feel Good Breakfast Show right here on SABC3. Listen, let me just tell you, we had a quick sound check, and Judith Puma and Don Vino's in the house. It is electrifying. You guys are not ready.
We're in for a treat. But of course, the conversation continues. It's Teen Prevention of Suicide Week that's going on. The South African Depression and Anxiety Group, they're hosting this conversation. Dr. Sindi van Zyl and Tsulu.
A very good morning to Expresso family. If you've just tuned in, we are joined by Dr. Sindi van Zyl here this morning. She is a SADC board member, and we are dissecting and talking more about teen suicide. It is Teen Suicide Prevention Week this week, and we are just sort of getting to grips with just how prevalent this topic is. I mean, 1 million suicide deaths a year, Dr. Sindi. That's like every 40 seconds, someone takes their life. It's quite an alarming statistic. If someone is suicidal, can they be helped? Can they recover? And if so, how do they go about doing it?
Well, yes, they can be helped. I think I always explain to people that by the time you make the decision to die by suicide, you've gone through depression, and there's a happy hormone, a chemical in your brain that is depleted. So if we can get you onto medication and you start the medication, you take it properly for a long enough time, we can then replenish that happy hormone in your brain. So it's preceded by depression, and then the thoughts come, because the thoughts do come, as time goes on if you're not getting any treatment. The difficulty is obviously getting someone into treatment. And this is where I think the myths around psychiatric care and being admitted for psychiatric care abound. And that's why we're having this conversation, to tell people that psychiatric medication is not addictive. Like, you take it for a time, and then once you're better, your psychiatrist will tell you to go off the medication. Teens, obviously, it's harder to get them into care because there's a lot that's going on in their lives. And also, they don't feel understood, they don't feel heard. So parents and caregivers need to keep an eye out for their teens. If there's any changes you've noticed in the behavior, ask your teen if everything is okay. Because that question might just help them to open up and let you know that something is wrong.
Building on that, doctor, is there a peak time when suicide is more prevalent?
Well, look, with teens, if you look at their lives, I mean, they'll probably be stressed about relationships. They might be stressed about exams. They may have failed, the first year of university, and they're worried about parental pressure. They're worried about what the parents are going to say. So usually around exam time, and certainly when there's relationship issues, and there could be bullying involved as well. And again, communication is key. If you notice any changes in your child, ask them what is wrong, and try and get them help.
How do we go about minimizing the risk of suicide? What are some of the things that we can do in our normal everyday life that we can, minimize the risk and help our teens not go down that road? Okay,
so the asking is important. Are you fine? Are you okay? I've noticed that you've changed. You're not talking anymore. You're always in your room with the door closed. What's happening with you? And the second thing is, you need to listen without judgment. So that's care. Right? So you need to show that you care. You need to show that whatever they tell you, you're not going to react in a bad way. I think a lot of parents don't want to hear certain things that their kids may be doing. But then if your kid can't talk to you, who are they meant to talk to? So listen without judgment. That's very important. And the last thing, of course, is get the child into treatment. Doctors are available. GPs are very good at referring. You can go to a government clinic. They have nurse clinicians. They can refer you to a psychiatric doctor. But make sure that the team gets help.
And in terms of the work that SADC does, can you just reiterate how one goes about contacting them?
Okay, so SADC is on social media. They're on Facebook, they're on Twitter, and they also have a helpline, a toll-free helpline that you can call. It's 0800 456 789. So it's quite an easy number, 0800 456 789. They have a 24-hour center, and they have people on the other end 24 hours a day to listen to you and then to help you as best as they can.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sindi van Zyl, for joining us this morning and enlightening us on a very, very important conversation that needs to be had. From us, that is all we have for today. It's back to you guys in studio.